So I'm going to do my little eye rubbing for a bit. Let's see, maybe I'll put me on rather than Barbara. There we go. Oh. Oh, Brenda's here. Cool. All right. Brenda, you there? Maybe she can't talk. What do I do? Oh, I wrote a poem today. How about that? So let's see what it looks like. No talk from Brenda. Okay. She can chat. Ellen wasn't feeling good, so she won't be here. What am I doing here? Okay, here's the poem I scribbled out today. My sore knees are demanding more water and salad. My mood is demanding coffee and a muffin. Walking to the rocky edge of the bay, I throw out the last third of coffee. The muffin is long gone. I put my cushion on a boulder and wait for mood to brighten, and more specifically, wait for a good line to come to me. Sunlight shining on the water tries to cheer me, as does the yellow sourgrass flowers, letting the wind touch them against the blue and brown rock to my right. Then I see them. Someone has carefully stacked 4 rocks on a boulder being splashed by water. Somewhere in my madcap, I think of my words piling on top of each other. The image makes me happy.
Hmm.
Then everything I see is like one of those old monks seeing it. Everything has some subtle meaning. A dog pees on a bush, then working his hind legs vigorously, sending sourgrass flowers flying through the air, suspended for a few seconds. And now the sparkling water does speak to me, and the little waves going in and out. What larger force is compelling them? A man takes out his phone to take a picture. A dove coos mournfully. I breathe just like the wind. I walk back to my car, knees aching, but feeling lifted off the ground like a cloud rising in the sky.
Very good.
Got some possibilities. It's funny, sometimes I get stuck trying to write a poem and I forget that I have to go out in nature and kind of observe things for a while.
Hmm. I can't observe very much nature right now because it's so cold outside, but I get you.
You can write poems about snow.
Yeah, I do. I look out my window and there's the snow, and that's what I focus on. I'm looking out the window.
I always remember this. My mother grew up in Minnesota. I always remember the story. She said her mother or grandmother or somebody would bake this big pancake and put it out in the snow, and some birds would come around and ring around the pancake eating it.
That's cute. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I put 2 cookies on my bird feeder the other day and I didn't see who ate them. Actually, I've got this big fat rat that's coming out a lot. So I have to try to appreciate him as another one of God's creatures, but something about rats, it's hard to kind of
Yeah.
appreciate them. He's very industrious. He comes out and munches up a bunch of seeds and runs back to wherever he lives and then runs back again. He does it over and over.
He'd probably use all of his the energy he gets from the first bunch of seeds, so he has to go back and get some more seeds. And then when he runs away, he uses up that energy, so he has to come back and get more seeds.
Well,
It's like a never-ending cycle.
that or else he's unfortunately he might be feeding feeding little rats somewhere.
Oh,
that's, that's not an appealing thought.
but yeah, that's a chilling thought.
Anyway, what can you do? I'm not going to kill him.
Yeah.
As long as he stays outside, not in my house. I don't worry that much.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I'm continuing to read from my first book. We're doing a retrospective. Dancing. Walking in from the highway, I spook a young deer. It smashes into a chain-link fence that stands between us and freedom. Bounding away, it continues, hurling itself against the fence. I'm terrified it will try to jump. At top are 3 strands of barbed wire. I stand perfectly still until I don't see him anymore. Walking toward marshlands, I see rusted oil drums, buildings that look like guard towers. In weird ochre-colored pools, a lone curlew is chirping. Further on, I'm in the marsh itself. I sit down viewing expanses of pickleweed and cattails. A salty, sweet rotting smell envelops me. I feel like I don't belong here. In distance, huge erector set power poles loom over the flat marsh. I think about the deer, the curlew, and that water. What must the animals think of us? A slight breeze waves the grass stem. A white butterfly dances before me. When the Native Americans, defeated in battle, sought to have the animals return and the whites go away, they created a dance, a crazy, futile effort to us. My legs have gone to sleep. I get up and hop around. They wake up in pins and needles. As sometimes happens, something else wakes up too. I don't feel uneasy in this place anymore. I feel I belong to the land. I begin my own chant. Laughing, I realize I'd been, as usual, too literal. Dancing is the way, and maybe it is the only thing we can really do.
Mm.
I always like that one. Let's see. Well, here's another one about Native Americans. The Miwok. The Miwok were the indigenous people around here. Here at the edge of bay, large rocks were dumped, creating a hard edge between water and man's encroachment. Once the bay was surrounded by marshes. The Miwok collected clams, drilled holes in shells to make necklaces. I imagine my native self years ago looking out at that narrow opening to ocean. What would he be thinking? He would have to imagine what was out there. Perhaps unfortunately, I know. I know the name of that ocean, the distance to countries I cannot see. To the right is Mount Tamalpais, a Miwok word. I grew up on its slopes, took lonely walks on its dusty trails. The Miwok said from a distance you could see the shape of a sleeping maiden. I see it now myself. She drags me down. Wait a minute. Too many pages there. There it is. I imagine my native brother looking up at her so many years ago. She would have looked the same. I think I would feel happy she was there. I'd feel grateful for abundant food. Also, I would worry death could come suddenly to myself and my family. Now, too, I am happy seeing her there, like I did as a boy, lying in her lap, smelling the sage and yerba santa, dreaming of my life when I grew up. Now, many long roads I've walked down. I'm still that lonely boy, wondering which stars I don't know the name of are my real home.
Hmm.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll read one more from this book. Black Jaguar. I often avoid the news. Today I watch the unbelievable cruelty, insane justifications, heart betrayed, wounded. I go outside, desperate, needing some relief, some hope. But along the same trail, grooved deep in our history, I fantasize killing the bad people. I am caught in the maelstrom. Now hearing geese overhead, flying south in winter, I worry for them, the hunters' guns. To protect them, I will fly with them all the way to the Amazon. There a black jaguar walks out of the burning jungle. I'm so sorry, I say. What can we do? This dark one grabs me by the scruff of my neck like I was a cub. She drags me down into black roots. In the dark, I'm afraid. Anaconda coils around me. I meet his red, seedy eyes. Then I become a dark spirit. I am what is to be feared. I hiss in the burning night. Jaguar comes back. I cry out, shake off the illusion. At her side, I'm laughing, grateful to know I am not that dark thing. That is what you tell your people. You don't have to walk down that sorrowful path. Jaguar walks away, now joined by Anaconda, walking and slithering toward a white mountain.
And that is an unusual poem for you.
Is it?
Yes.
I used to do a lot more poems like that, kind of shamanistic ones. I don't know where I got that white mountain from. I didn't look at the Well, oh, Glenda, you wrote one. Let's see. Okay, this is Glenda's most recent one. I assume this is new.
Yep, it's new.
It's titled, It's Quiet Here Today. It's quiet here today. As I leaf through the pages of my notebook, I search for words to break the silence. Even as I gather my quilt about me, I muse. Will the chill of this day be forever my due? I fill the feeders for my swiftly moving friends, and I ponder if their visits are a momentary sight. And where will they go when I'm no longer here, and no one is left to watch them arrive? No one will smile as they practice their dance. It's quiet here today. Even the words of my mind whisper more softly. I think I feel them more than I hear them. I wait for my coffee's gurgle to cease, then carefully pour and take a small sip. My gaze drawn again to the choreography of sparrows, and beyond the blanket of white they endure. I ponder the knowledge that I still remain, beyond my father, a memory kept, lost in his silence. I find a few words. Write them down quickly, lest I forget. Memories chase me as I try to write, because it's quiet here today. Lovely. I like that repeating the quiet here today.
Yeah,
That was intentional. That was
always
intentional.
lovely, Brenda.
Thank you, Julie.
Actually, it seems like you and I were on this kind of the same wavelength. Looking for words to write.
Yeah.
Sometimes, sometimes you have to wait for them.
It usually starts for me with one phrase, and then that phrase won't let me alone. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, you have to get that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda, Brenda said what she said. She said lovely, didn't she?
Lovely. Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, she said lovely. Okay. Yeah, alrighty. We got a little bit of time. We can read some of their stuff. For the Rumi, you are the only student you have. You are the only faithful student you have. All the others leave eventually. Have you been making yourself shallow with making others eminent? Imminent. Yeah. Just remember, when you're in union, you don't have to fear that you'll be drained. The command says to speak, and you feel the ocean moving through you. Then comes be silent, as when the rain stops and the trees in the orchard begin to draw moisture up into themselves. That's true. Ultimately, we are our own student. Oh, if I should read this one again, this is the one I read a lot. Oh well, I'll read it. James Wright, A Blessing. Just off the highway to Rochester, Minnesota, twilight bounds softly forth on the grass, and the eyes of those two Indian ponies darken with kindness. They have come gladly out of the willows to welcome my friend and me. We step over barbed wire into the pasture, where they have been grazing all day alone. They ripple tensely, they can hardly contain their happiness that we have come. They bow shyly as wet swans. They love each other. There is no loneliness like theirs. At home once more, they begin munching the young tufts of spring in the darkness. I would like to hold the slender one in my arms, for she has walked over to me and nuzzled my left hand. She is black and white. Her mane falls wild on her forehead, and the light breeze moves me to caress her long ear that is delicate as the skin over a girl's wrist. Suddenly I realize that if I stepped out of my body, I would break into blossom. I love that. I'd like to do that. Break into blossom.
I would like to do that too.
Oh, this one is by Transtromer. Swedish. It's actually like a prose poem. I've tried to write prose poems before, and I never succeed very well with them. But I'll, I'll try reading this one. You can see it's actually written like an actual story, not poetry like. At Funchal, island of Madeira, isn't that done by Spain or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the beach, there's a seafood place, simple, a shack thrown up by survivors of the shipwreck. Many turn back at the door, but not sea winds. A shadow stands deep inside his smoky hut frying 2 fish, according to an old recipe from Atlantis. Tiny garlic explosions, oil running over sliced tomatoes. Every morsel says that the ocean wishes us well, a humming from the deep places. She and I look into each other. It's like climbing the wild-flowered mountain slopes without feeling the least bit tired. We sided with the animals. They welcome us. We don't age, but we have experienced so much together over the years, including those times when we weren't so good, as when we stood in line to give blood to the to the healthy giant. He said he wanted a transfusion. Incidents which should have separated us if they hadn't unified us, and incidents which we've totally forgotten, though they haven't forgotten us. They've turned to stones, dark and light, stones in a scattered mosaic. And now it happens, the pieces move together toward each other, the mosaic appears and is whole. It waits for us. It glows down from the hotel room wall, some violent figure, violent and tender, perhaps a face. We can't take it all in as we pull off our clothes. After dusk we go out. The dark, powerful paw of the cape lies thrown out into the sea. We walk in swirls of human beings. We are cuffed around kindly among soft tyrannies. Everyone chatters excitedly in the foreign tongue. No man is an island. We gain strength from them, but also from ourselves, from what is inside that the other person can't see, that which can only meet itself. The innermost paradox, the underground garage, flowers, the vent toward the good dark, a drink that bubbles in an empty glass, an amplifier that magnifies silence, a path that grows after every step, a book that can only be read in the dark. Wow. that,
That is that is something.
that reads more like a poem than
Yeah.
a story.
But I like the line about the you drink the bubbles in the empty glass. And what was the last line?
A book that can only be read in the dark.
Yeah, that I mean that's like oxymoron things.
Yeah. I'd forgotten how Transtromer can do that. He just gets so surreal, I guess is the word.
Hmm.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I keep thinking I'm going to try to write a poem like that, but I just can't do it. I don't know.
I don't think I could do that.
I kind of have to write so people understand what I'm saying. Well, it's almost 6:30. I guess we could. Well, let's see. Do I have one more? Well, maybe I'll read one more of those kid poems. I like those. These are young people's poems. This is by somebody who's 17. Layer cake. Dying stars of colored light burn. The pupils go cat-like. The retinas sizzle. This colored fire plays tricks, transforms a dull article of metallic construction into a hallucination. 1,000 tiny focused suns break dams of perspiration, of concentration, of fatigue. The crowd is eclipsed. It no longer exists. Boo-wah, says the drum without warning. Space, repetition. The theme is uttered. Theme, that substance, that essence of everything, of anything, that application to the outer context. Ivory dances with substance, then falls off keyboard's edge into a 30-second note pattern. A brief swing interim. A momentary aside of deposed coolness precedes an explosion of panic and stabbing concentration. Cymbals shine, toms crash, framework dissolves, the Parthenon caves in. Rhythmic debris flies from the platform. A maniacal left hand climbs upward, threatening the sweet melody of the right. Fingers dance with blinding speed from high to low frets. Piano demon is harnessed. Tranquility is restored. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
17, huh? Okay, I didn't think I was going to read another one like that.
Kind of makes you wonder what he grew up to be.
Yeah, he'll grow up to be like Transtromer, writing poems like that. It's hard to imagine somebody at 17 being able to write something as surreal as that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Let's read some Mary. I can usually figure out what she's talking about. Black Snake this time. Black Snake this time lay under the oak trees in the early morning in a half knot, in a curl. And like anyone catching the runner at rest, I stared at that thick black length whose neck all summer was a river, whose body was the same river, whose whole life was a flowing, whose tail could lash, who footless could spin like a black tendril and hang upside down in the branches, gazing at everything out of seed-shaped red eyes as it swung to and fro, the tail making a quick sizzle, the head lifted like a black spout. Was it alive? Of course it was alive. This was a thick, quick wrist of early summer, when everything was alive. Then I knelt down. I saw that the snake was gone. At the face, like a black bud, had pushed out from the broken petals of the old year, and it had emerged on the 100 hoops of its belly, a tongue sputtering its thread of smoke, the work of the pearl-colored lung, never pausing as it pushed from the chin, from the crown of the head, leaving only an empty skin for the mice to nibble and the breeze to blow. As over the oak leaves, across the creek, and up the far hill it had gone, damp and shining in the starlight, like a rollicking finger of snow.
Hmm.
I guess under the black scales, the snake is white.
Only Mary could write a poem about a snake shedding its skin and make it so profound. That was Mary Oliver, she asked.
Oh yeah, I'm into my Mary time now. We're just running out of time. I'll read one or two more of her. Brenda, yeah. Morning walk. Little by little, the ocean empties its pockets, foam and fluff, and the long, tangled ornateness of seaweed, and the whelks, ribbed, or the ivory knobs that was, but so knocked about in the blue. I can't talk tonight. But so knocked about in the sea's blue hands that their story is at length only about the wholeness of destruction. They come one by one to the shore, to the shallows, to the mussel-dappled rocks, to the rise to dryness, to the edge of the town, to offer to the measure that we will accept it, this wisdom. Though the hour be whole, though the minute be deep and rich, though the heart be a singer of red-hot songs, and the mind be as lightning, what all the music will come to is nothing, only the sheets of fog and the fog's blue bell. You do not believe it now. You are not supposed to. You do not believe it yet, but you will. Morning by singular morning, and shell by broken shell.
Hmm.
Let's see, 4 minutes. I'll read one more. At the shore, this morning, when that light-limbed dancer was all over the sky, while the ocean slapped up against the shore's black beaked rocks. Row after row of waves humped and fringed and exactly different from each other, and above them one white gull whirled slant and fast, and dipped its wings, turned in a soft and descending decision. Its leafy feet touched the pale water just beyond breakage of waves. It settled, shook itself, opened its spoony beak, cranked like a pump. Listen, here is the white and silky trumpet of nothing. Here is the beautiful nothing, body of happy, meaningless fire, wildflower, shaking the heart. Alrighty. Well, thank you
Thank you,
all.
John.
Yeah, thank you for all coming. Everyone have a lovely week, and I'll see you all next week.
Thank you. Beautiful poems.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank,
Barbara.
thank, thank. See you next week, Barbara.
See you.
Guys, see you next week.
Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.
Brenda is saying, liked your first poem. Okay. All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.